Well, good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome. This is Blackthorn Rambles, our tarot babble of the day. For how many days? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. As long as we can do this. I haven't had a full installation of coffee yet, but I'm working on it. Uh, so yeah, I hope everyone has had a great weekend and our Mondays or Tuesday, depending on where you are, I believe. My Aussies are Tuesday, I believe. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to talk about the Page of Swords today. Um, yep. As I was shuffling, I'm like, you know what? What do we need to discuss today? What kind of energy is coming up? What can we sort of meditate on together? And the Page of Swords popped up and was like, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. And so we shall do that. Let me make sure uh everything is correct here. I believe it is, but you never know. With all this technology, something's bound to, you know, happen. So with the Page of Swords, you can see it on screen. We can take a look at the role of the page, right? Pages are young energies. And when I say young, it's not always as easy as, oh, it's a young person. It could be a young spirited person. It could be like a younger type of energy. Because we all know people who are like, you know, older in the actual number of age, but the way they behave, their personality, what they sort of like, the vibe they emit, right, is a lot younger. So it very well could represent that. So the pages are like the archetypal child. Well, hello, Jade. Welcome. Welcome. Yes. So pages are like the archetypal child. And so we can kind of layer that in when we're contemplating this card. Like, okay, the archetypal child, what do children represent? And I always associate like the pages with the fool, because I feel like there's this innocence and ignorance, and I don't say ignorance isn't a bad thing unless we make it a bad thing, right? Willful ignorance. But like children are ignorant. They don't know any better in a sense, until things are learned and taught and yada yada yada. And there's nothing wrong with that ignorance, that sort of newness, right? That unaware in a sense. And so I always associate like the pages with the fool. So there's this excitement and there's newness and this desire to explore. And if you think of children, it's like, okay, being born into this world and seeing things, at least in this incarnation, right? Seeing things for the first time and tasting things for the first time and witnessing and hearing and all of it for the first time, and how it interacts with us and how we interact with it. There's so many different layers there that we can consider when we talk about the pages. And so the pages can represent with this newness, new initiation, new beginnings, this sort of curiosity, right? Curiosity about life, about things. And There's sort of like the initial stages of development. Definitely about exploration and the joy of discovering new aspects of life. So we have that about the page. And then we recognize it's a page of what? Page of swords, and swords associated with the elemental influence of air. So we understand this newness, this sort of desire, this curiosity, I should say, is more finely tuned through the filter of air, right? And so air adds another layer, and we think about the swords being air suit, and so we have again air associations, whatever we, everyone has their own associations, but air can symbolize like intellect, the mind, mental stuff, learning, knowledge, right? Clarity, brisk movement. The Page of Swords invites us to clear our minds and embrace the fresh breezes of new thoughts and perspectives. And so it's like, okay, it's our mind stuff, it's learning, it's there's this newness, this curiosity about exploring something in a different way. And if you look, you can kind of look at this card, the Page of Swords, and you can look at the sort of body language here. And I always take that into consideration. So you can see how the Page of Swords is looking back to the left, right? And that to me is like the past. But you also see the way they're positioning as they're walking, they're kind of like ready to move forward, explore something new. Or and so I kind of associate this with exploring something maybe that it's how do I put this? Let me know if I'm making sense here, but it's kind of like as we get older, as we grow and gain in wisdom, we can then look back and we have understanding of things we didn't understand when we were younger, right? So it's like I can look back now and I can understand like certain experiences that I had or certain people in my life that were supposed to, be a certain thing to me. I can understand why and how they work, right? How they express themselves and why they did. They are going through their own stuff. So I feel like the Page of Swords is also this sort of this gift of wisdom in a sense, because now that we've gained sort of some insight and we're curious about things, we're curious about how brains work and how people's thoughts and beliefs and programs shape them into who they are. And so then the Page of Swords can be this insight where, oh, from this perspective, I can comprehend how certain people, certain situations manifested or behaved, or all of that. It doesn't mean that we excuse behavior or condone behavior. It just means now that I have an understanding of that, it actually might help me to move forward, right? Um, and so we have that sort of layer of air energy, like clarity and mind stuff, mental stuff, uh, all of that, and exploring it with excitement, with curiosity, with a new appreciation for things. And I think that can help us a lot. And then if you think about it, so it's the Page of Swords is again, because if you think about the role of a page, they're new, kind of like the new person at the job force or the work, whatever, the work, oh my gosh, um oh gosh, the new person who's like running around getting everyone their coffee or their orders and like moving and trying to prove themselves in a way. And so the Page of Swords isn't just about acquiring knowledge, it's about networking, it's about movement, it's about ebb and flow, right? The ebb and flow of air stuff. And so if we look at my little point two, messages and potential, the Page of Swords is not just about acquiring knowledge, but also about the challenging questions that foster deeper intellectual growth. We'll discuss how this represents clear thought and effective communication. That's my little pointer for myself. Like, okay, make sure to stay on track. Um, but yeah, so it's the page, because of their role, they are about understanding how things work on a mental plane. What the hell just happened? I don't know. My screen just went weird. So yeah, any thoughts, any questions, any insights you'd like to share? But there is again page curiosity about communication, about how certain words affect us, about how certain words affect other people, about learning, and this is another thing I think that we can take from the Page of Swords today, is like learning how to articulate ourselves in different scenarios. So depending on the situation that we are in, we have to learn how to communicate in that environment, in that atmosphere. Is that right? And so I think that there's a blessing here, because we recognize like the Page of Swords is the movement of words, the movement of stimulation in regards to mental stimulation, right? And I feel today we should start asking ourselves these types of questions, like, okay, who, what do I need right now mentally? What do I need right now? What kind of conversation do I need right now? Where do I need to be stimulated on a mental plane, right? What sector of life needs that sort of stimulation, and how can I achieve it? um but yeah, so the page is definitely like the archetypal child, like a beginner, new, excited to learn, excited to kind of like tinker on things, figure things out, definitely learning and absorbing like information. um there again, let me get a sip of coffee, hold on. Mhm. And so we can take that into consideration as we sort of explore our day, and just think about these things like, okay, you know is there something, let me ask you this, and you don't have to respond here if you don't want to, but just ask yourself, is there something that is sort of being surfaced, like resurfacing from my past, whether it be a belief, whether it be a program, whether it be a person. The hell? Did you hear that? Like someone was screaming. Anyways, whether it be something from the past, like coming up. And I think the opportunity here with the Page of Swords is to be able to process this thing that is surfacing up from the past in a new way. Because now, again, we are either older, we are more experienced now, we have a different set of tools that we're working through. Maybe we've been through to therapy and we've been given tools to work with, and so now something is coming up for us, we can actually start to process and work through it, or view it in a different way. All the above surfacing here lately. Oh my gosh. Well, and so, but and I have to like make it very clear, like, just because we can understand something, right? Just because we can process it, and we can understand, like, oh, I understand, like, for me, like, I understand why my dad was the way he was, right? I understand. I don't have a great relationship with him, but I understand his mentality. I can look back and I have more. I don't know if I have more compassion. I have something. I have something for him, but like, I have understanding. I don't condone his actions. I don't condone the way he was, or his behavior. I don't condone that, and I don't make it like excuses for him, but understanding how he grew up, and as I got older, seeing his parents and the environment that he was raised in, and their thoughts, their patterns, their dynamic, right? It made me comprehend my father more. Does that make sense? And while I don't agree with maybe how he executed whatever, I it makes it easier for me to move forward because I can let certain things go. I don't condone, I don't excuse. I'm just in a space where it's like, "Oh, that makes sense." That makes sense. I understand this, and I can actually let myself move forward. And I feel that's kind of like the lesson here today for the Page of Swords, where it's being able to have this sort of comprehension in processing something, and from something that's coming up and surfacing for us, and actually being able to move on. Yeah. And then when I engage moving forward, it's in a different way. I'm no longer sort of like held back by outdated thinking or outdated processing, right? And I think, that's kind of like the beauty of the what the Page of Swords is offering us. Okay. And so we've acquired knowledge, but now it's like time to do something about it, or do something with it. So just take that into consideration as you engage with your day. Whatever comes up, explore it. Like, give yourself some time to explore it. Give yourself some time to process and then respond. You don't have to react immediately, but give yourself some time to explore what's coming up for you, and then play with it a little. Like, see how you can get more information or see how you can process differently. But know that we are being given the opportunity right now. So I've rambled enough, and I hope that you can take something from this. But I just wanted to get on here and ramble a little, babble a bit, because that's what I do. That's what I do well, I have to say. I just, let's be honest, I'm really good at that. And I do appreciate and thank you for allowing me to do that. And I love when you share your thoughts and engage as well. It's important for us to have that ebb and flow, that give and take, that back and forth. Oh my god, that was like a lot. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't already, find me on Patreon, patreon.com/House of Blackthorn. Sign up as a free member to get a feel for what I do. And then when I post these, you'll be able to see them as well. It helps me get everyone the content that I want to share in all the ways. I share on Facebook a lot, but Facebook doesn't reach everybody. So it just allows me to make sure that if I don't share, if you don't get it on Facebook, you might get it on Patreon, like that share, right? And so yeah, um check it out, check it out. Thank you again. I appreciate y'all, and most likely I will be back tomorrow, talking some more. And y'all enjoy the rest of your day. All right, okay, bye.